Thanks for joining, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. We'll start in a couple of minutes. And while we start, let me take a quick poll in terms of can you see the presentation? And where did you hear about the course or this masterclass from? If I can share the results, everyone can see the presentation. I see a lot of mariners nowadays on LinkedIn, and that's essentially where a lot of you have heard about this masterclass from, and then followed by WhatsApp, email, of course. So thanks for joining in, everyone. Weekend afternoon. I know you people have joined from different parts of the world. So good day, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. This is a master class on commercial shipping, where we'll discuss a little bit about how the commercial shipping is progressing, what is it all about, and then we will discuss about a course which we are launching in the next couple of weeks. So with me, I have from Sea and Beyond, Captain Vineet and Smita, who will be hosting. And we also have our experts, Captain Ashok, Krishnan sir. We've got Captain Nishant and Captain Nilesh who've joined in. And thank you for all of you to have taken your time and coming here for the webinar to share your thoughts. Really appreciate why we are doing this webinar. And the whole idea is that I think if I talk to probably 100 mariners, and if I ask them, why do you want to, or what do you want to do other than sailing? I can assure you at least 70% of them would say commercial shipping, right? But what is commercial shipping? How can you enter into commercial shipping? Is it for you or not? What kind of personality is required? So I'm not sure how many of you would know. I didn't know, at least when I transitioned ashore, or later on as well. So our endeavor through this webinar, through this masterclass, is to increase your awareness, and not just increase your awareness by just talking to your friends or through someone who's probably not from the industry, but from people who have been in the industry in various facets of commercial shipping. So you will get credible information. The idea is, with this information you can evaluate the relevance of it, and at the end of the day you should be able to take a well-informed decision. So the vision of Sea and Beyond, to help mariners take a well-informed decision, and that's the reason why we are doing this webinar as well. Some do's and don'ts: you may submit your questions during the course of the slide, whenever you have a doubt, but we would take them at the end of the session. um, we may not be able to take very focused questions during the webinar, but we can take them at a later stage, wherein we could have a one-to-one discussion, and we will of course share the slides. uh, the other thing is, please rename yourself to your real name, not the name of your device. And disclaimer that knowing about commercial shipping may not land you a job. Uh, so that's about this. And if we move to the next slide, Vineet. Right, while I introduce our speakers today, let me also have an introduction from all of you over here. So to all the participants in the webinar, I would like to request and click your rank. What is your current rank? The speakers whom we have on the webinar is Krishnan sir. He's the chairman of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers and the chief learning officer of Transworld Group. We've got Captain Ashok Sharma, who is managing director of JM Bakshi Far East. Captain Nilesh, who's the senior manager, post-fixed claims team, Scorpio, and Captain Nishant, who's been into commercial for long, and he's the ex-vice president commercial for KC Maritime. He was based in Hong Kong. So we've got people who've worked in at least 4 different geographies. Krishnan sir from Dubai. He's now in India, but he works from Dubai. Captain Ashok from Singapore. Nilesh Captain Nilesh in Mumbai, and Captain Nishant, who's worked in Hong Kong but now in India. So yeah, I think we'll get a great perspective from all the speakers who've had different geography experience and different domain experiences in the commercial shipping. Um, Let me end the poll and share the results as well with everyone. So, as per the participants, we've got about 50% who are top four sailing, followed by 25% who have never went to sea, then 16% operations level sailing, and 9% who has settled ashore after sailing. All right, welcome to all of you for this webinar, and I'm sure it will be useful for for all of you. We move to the next one. The agenda is we'll talk about a quick overview of commercial shipping, then how the industry has evolved, the various shipping activities in India, the challenges in terms of the employers, employees face, a little bit of an advice on the job seekers, and what are the changes happening in commercial shipping. So this is what the agenda for this webinar is going to be. And we can move to the next slide. All right. Now let's understand from all of you on why you are here. What fascinates you most in the commercial shipping, and essentially what has brought you in this webinar, and why, if at all, you would like to get into commercial shipping? And after this poll question, I will hand over to Captain Ashok for his thoughts. All right, we've got 60% of you have answered. It will be another 10 seconds before I end the poll. So what fascinates you in commercial shipping? You've got four choices. Nothing right or wrong. It's just what it is, whatever you feel. A few more answers, and then I'm going to end the poll. I've got about 70% of you who have voted. Going to end the poll now and sharing the results. So what fascinates most of the people who have voted is commercial professionals have comparatively more power, followed by people have heard that there's a lot of money to be made, and a few people don't know, but there is something about it. There's that X factor probably. Um, and a few feel because a lot of their friends are keen for commercial shipping. And that's fair enough. I think that's what, honestly, I didn't know anything about commercial shipping when I was sailing, but there was just so much of excitement whenever you would take the word of commercial shipping, or know that one of a merchant navy officers or a maritime professional is in commercial shipping. So it's just that charisma around it. Probably that's the reason why I had initially thought of commercial shipping. But that's what the audience feel. And at this time, I'll hand over to Captain Ashok Sharma to talk about what does commercial shipping mean and what is it all about.
Good evening. My name is Ashok Sharma. I'm the managing director of JM Bakshi Far East. Been in Singapore for about 16 years now. Set up this company in 2010, which is JM Bakshi's outpost in Singapore. I sailed for 20 years. I was a captain for 10, and I've been in the commercial side, more specifically broking, for about 25 years now. So 24 years. So great, yeah. Gaurav and I spoke several years ago about starting a course on commercial shipping, because I think commercial shipping, uh, as a definition, is very vague. So basically, if something is vague, you don't know how to aim for it. You can't focus in on it and aim to participate in that field. So I think what Gaurav has done very well with this course is he has brought commercial shipping into focus and helped define the scope and the parameters of commercial shipping. Okay, so merchant ships are a business enterprise. So anybody who goes into build a merchant ship is actually building or investing in a business. And what is the business of commercial ships? If for those of you who sail, you've heard of the non-revenue earning part of a ship and a revenue earning part of the ship. So the engine room, okay, engineers, please forgive me, but the engine room is a non-revenue earning part of the ship. The accommodation is a non-revenue earning part of the ship. The ballast tanks are a non-revenue earning part of the ship. I'm sure you guys get the drift. The only real the earning part of a ship or the earning space of a ship are the cargo tanks or the cargo holds or the cargo carrying space, which whatever you call it, depending on what kind of ship you're in. So, how is revenue earned? That revenue is earned very simply by leasing out the cargo carrying space to to the market. So we will now define. Now this is layman's language. There's a space in which you carry cargo, and that space is leased out, and that space is leased out, and then you get paid for that for using that space. And so what we will do is these are layman terms, and what we will do is over the next 2 or 3 slides, in a very a simplistic and peripheral way, we will define to you the technical terms which I used for the space, the renting out or the leasing out of the space, and the revenue that is earned from the space. And basically, what it is, revenues are generated by renting out the space on a ship in return for a remuneration. The remuneration is termed freight. So if you hear freight, it is just the remuneration that the market or a counterparty pays to the ship owner or the person who's controlling the ship for usage of that cargo carrying space, either to store the cargo. Storing is very common nowadays, especially in the oil part of the business, whether it's gas or whether it's liquids. And but most of the time, I would say more than 90% of the time or 95% of the time, that space is used to transport cargo from A to B. So from point A to point B or point A to B, C, D, E, whatever. So and this is across the entire spectrum of merchant ship types and sizes, whether it's a container ship or a dry cargo ship or a bulk carrier or a log carrier or a cattle carrier or an LNG or an LPG ship, take it what it is. These terms are common across all types of ships. All right. So it may be noted that when a ship is in operation, freight, when a ship is sailing in trading, when I say when a ship is in operation, during the trading life of a ship, the only revenue stream for an owner, as long as the ship is with one particular owner, the the only revenue stream is freight. So the only revenue earned is by letting out that space on a ship for freight, which is paid for by the counterparty, which is paid by the counterparty. The ship will generate, of course, the ship will generate additional revenue when it's sold or scrapped. It'll generate additional cash or revenue. Now, whether it's a profit or a loss, you only get to know when you're actually selling the ship. But additional revenue is generated when it is sold or scrapped. Scrap is getting rid of, for those of you who are non-seafarers, there are quite a few of you who are listening in. Yeah, scrapping a ship is an end of life process when a ship is no longer commercially viable. You scrap the ship. So you put it out, you beach the ship, put it into a scrapyard, and then literally it is cut up into pieces, and the valuable parts are harnessed, and the main engine could be sold, the generator could be sold, the propeller shaft could be sold. But most of what is sold is the steel, and the steel is recycled. In the shipping industry, we say, "Oh, the ship, she's probably shaving blades by now." So, very common, a common in the old days, or even today, I'm sure. the steel that is recycled from ships, one of the uses is put to manufacture shaving blades. But of course, it's recycled, goes into all sorts of construction industries, or maybe building other ships as well. You never know. Hence, the commercial aspect of shipping broadly entails with the revenue earning activity that is freight. All the activity that is connected to the earning of freight broadly comes under the ambit of commercial shipping. So this is the bottom line. If there's an activity that is connected to earning freight, it comes under the ambit of commercial shipping. It's simple enough to understand. Now, who are the participants? Now, freight, obviously, there is a market, there's a freight market where the ships go and market their space for freight, and the charterers or the people who want to use the space are there in the market looking to rent the space for either for a short period or a long period or whatever it is. But that all these nuances you will get to know if you actually take part or participate in the course. So charterers or who are charterers? So basically, there are three major participants in the freight markets. One of the charterers, they're the owners or controllers of the cargo transportation. Now, the charterers could be owners. I would like to, for future presentation, Gaurav, I think we would like to put and/or controllers of the cargo transportation, because the charterer can be the owner and controller of the cargo transportation, or he just might be just the owner, or he just might be the controller. But as far as the markets are concerned, the charterers are the controllers of the cargo transportation, whether they own the cargo or not. So that's clear, and they are at the top of the pyramid. They are the ones who pay all the money down. They pay to the owners, and the owner pays his crew, and and the owner pays everybody else. They pay the port, pay for canal dues and everything. But initially, at the top of the pyramid is the charterer who pays the freight. Out of that freight, all the payments that the owner or the ship has to make is basically obtained. Now, owners are entities that affect ownership control of the ship. Now, very clear. Again, this is a nuance that you will get familiar with if you take part in the course. But ownership control of the ship does not necessarily mean you have title to the ship. You could have contractual ownership of the ship as well, or you could own, and most of the time you have title to the ship as well. The owner of a ship has title to the ship as well, but very often the person who effects ownership control of the ship doesn't have a title to the ship. He just has contractual ownership control of the ship. It is again, it's a technical term, but an ownership in that manner is called despondent ownership. Now, between the charterers and owners, there are middlemen who are brokers. Now, brokers don't compare ship brokers to real estate brokers. They're very different. Very different. Although in India, especially, oh, you're a broker. Oh, that means the guy who goes around trying to get a house on rent or a house bought and sold. They are brokers as well. Yeah, we do a very similar job. Very similar job. Only thing is we are selling space on a ship, or we are helping sell space on a ship, uh, which is highly technical and far more complicated and far more sophisticated than being a broker in, say, the real estate industry, which is the most common connection that people make. Of course, you have stock brokers, you have insurance brokers, and everything. But the most common broker in India, especially, people are familiar with real estate brokers. So it's basically essentially the same thing, but on a much larger scale. On a much larger scale, at a much higher level on the intellectual plane, and far more sophisticated, and it's an integral part of capital markets. Remember one thing, COVID taught us that yeah, the world can move, the world can be in lockdown, but ships will never be in lockdown. So brokers were busy during COVID, owners were busy during COVID, charterers were busy during COVID. So it's an integral part of the global industrial cycle and industrial interaction. So it's a very different aspect from real estate brokers. But again, I repeat, it's fairly similar. Now, what are the main employment opportunities ashore in commercial shipping? Okay, you could be a chartering executive or a broker. Now, they are market-facing personnel in owners and charterers' offices. So you have in an owner's office or a charterer's office, you have somebody who's dealing with the outside. You're somebody outside the office. Basically, to either if it's a charter's office, you have a charterer who you have a charterer who's looking to rent space on a ship, and he is talking to a broker who's talking to an owner who has that space to rent. So basically, in a chartering office, they're called chartering executives, but they perform a role that is very similar to brokers. They are market-facing personnel in owners and charterers' offices. They interact with brokers and involved in day-to-day chartering activities. Chartering is nothing but the renting of space on a ship. It's just a sophisticated term for that. There is a historical perspective to it, but this is not the time and place to get into the depth of that. But chartering comes from the Crown in the UK, and I think Mr. Krishnan will probably have a better narrative on the background of why it's called chartering. They could also be sometimes called brokers. Yeah, sometimes chartering people call the market-facing executives brokers. Owners also call them brokers, sitting in an owner's office. But essentially, I think the market has evolved where you call them we call them charterers in the charterer's office. We call them operations charterer. We call them charterers. You call them charterers in the owner's offices as well, but they perform essentially the same function as brokers perform on a day-to-day basis. Now, these are the chartering. So you have a broker in a charterer's office, owner's office, as well as the broking shop, and they are the essential link in any transaction. The entire communication chain is between brokers in charterer's office, brokers in owner's office, and the broker in his broking shop. So that's the linkage. So it shouldn't confuse you sometimes if a ship owner says, "Oh, my broker will talk to you," whatever. Now, operations executives. Now, what happens is that now the process of finding employment for space on a ship or finding space for a cargo in a charter's office, that process is called fixing. Fixing a ship. It's industry jargon. So, what helping the person along in helping the charterer along in the process of fixing the ship, again, in the charterer's office, in the owner's office, as well as the broker's office, is somebody who's called an operations executive. The operations executive assists or provides support to the chartering executive to help fix the ship. The charter he might require a port cost, he might require a distance, he might require the itinerary of the ship. So he will turn around to the
ऐसा
operations.
चक्कर है मतलब इस टाइप का खुल जाना
Hello.
जैसे हमारे एक और
Yeah, Gaurav, you there? Am I there?
Yes, sorry,
I think somebody's got his mic on.
yes.
Okay. So anyhow, so the operations person provides assistance to the chartering person and provides him information and a perspective and gives him all the data that is necessary to bring the contract together. Subsequently, on a contract for employment, once the contract for employment has been finalized, that is, the ship is fully fixed, then the operations executive takes over the execution of the voyage. Then he monitors the voyage based on the charter party or the contract that has been agreed. Now, once the voyage is over, the vessel has reached her discharge port, she discharged all her cargo, everything. The freight has been paid. Then you get a category of personnel called claims executives who will follow up. Now, these claims executives are there in the charter's office, owner's office, as well as the broker's office. They will all follow up on the claims. Like the owner will go through the broker to go to the charterer for the claims. Claims are like demurrage claims. Claims are all the payments that are due as per the contract of carriage to the owner, or very often not very often, but sometimes from the owner to the charterer, apart from the freight. So if the freight is something else, but any other payment or freight is under one head, but any other payment that is due to the ship owner and very rarely to the charterer is handled by the claims executive, and that is once the voyage is over. So the claims executive takes so personnel who follow up on payments that ensue on completion of the voyage, including demurrage, insurance claim, miscellaneous costs, etc. These are the people who are claims executives. So basically, the three major departments in a commercial shipping organization, and every entity in the industry, including broking houses, require the above mentioned job functions at various levels of seniority. So I guess that's about it. Yeah, got it. Okay.
No, so I think here if you could also tell about the personalities of
Okay. Yeah. What do
the
we like? I mean, yeah. What are the um, okay? What are the attributes the industry looks at? What are the attributes that industry looks at for each of these positions? Now, a chartering executive, the market-facing people, has to have an analytical mind, works very quickly. He has to put, he's the one who tries to put pieces of a jigsaw together. And and so he has to have an analytical mind because he's the one who's fixing it, who's bringing the business together. Normally we require him to have an outgoing personality because it's a very social environment. Chartering brokers constantly meet with each other, constantly talk to each other, and there's a lot of entertaining going on. And there are a lot of entertaining and socializing and social interactions that go on. So social skills is a very important aspect of chartering brokers, chartering executives portfolio, and a determination to succeed because you may try, depending on the markets, of course, but you may try to fix a ship several times, but you may not succeed. So maybe you try 5 times, and just because you failed 5 times, that doesn't mean you give up and say, okay, I can't do this. Is not for me. This is not for me because we have to because this is a job of persistence. We require to be persistent in this, keep going until the ship gets fixed, and this is true from the broker is the guy who requires the most persistence, a determination to succeed. Because if broker attempts to fix a ship 10 times or 10 ships to fix, a very successful broker will have a success rate of about 10%. So, but this determination to succeed, persistence, perseverance, patience is required across the board. Has to have a network. It's a natural spin-off of a social outgoing personality. Has to have a network. Has to be able to talk to people, to be able to get a perspective on the market, to know the persons properly. I mean, to know his counterparties properly, to be able to engage in conversations, to be interested enough, to be interesting enough to be able to speak, to engage in conversation, etc. Source market information. The network is what gives the broker or any broker in any one of the three verticals, it gives him his access to market information as well. He has to have excellent negotiating skills. They have to understand the mindset. You literally have to jump into the mind of your counterparty and try to outguess him and try to understand where, at what level, or at what stage this business can be fixed. So the negotiation, you have to have a kind of a very good psychological appreciation of the human mind. It helps a lot, and an in-depth knowledge of charter party clauses. Charter parties are contracts of carriage. Charter parties are contracts of carriage, which under which ships carry cargo from A to B or to C, D, wherever. And the charter parties are the documents which either make you a lot of money or they can lose you a lot of money. So the chartering executives have to have a very good understanding of charter party clauses. As far as operations is concerned, and operations, you'll find that a lot of these operations people, especially at the top, are captains who sailed for several years and have been handling the operations function, the office for several years, and they are the ones who draft operations messages. They get into they're the first. They're the first stop for any dispute resolution or technical issues. They have to be able to talk to the charterers. They have to be able to talk to the brokers. And they have to be able to understand both the commercial side as well as the technical side, as well as the operation side of the business. So excellent communication skills all around. And obviously, they also have, because they are the ones who are applying the clauses in the charter party. They are the ones who are applying, so they have to have a very good expert working knowledge, application knowledge of the charter party contract. Very often, the chartering executives in broking, chartering, or owners offices, they don't apply the charter party clauses. The application of the charter party of the agreement is left to the operations people. Left to the operations people. They have to have a very good working knowledge. How does the charter party work? What is the clause? How does the clause manifest itself during a voyage? How do you deal with it? What are the pitfalls? So this is an important part of the operations job. The claims executive need to have an organized work ethic, because a chartering executive or a broker is normally, you will never find them dealing with more than five or six ships at a time. It just clutters their mind space too much. But a chartering executive cannot be trying to fix five ships at one time, maybe more. If five ships, also a hell of a lot if you're trying to fix them simultaneously. Ideally it should be just one or two ships. So the number of ships, that the chartering executive or a broker is dealing with, is probably four or five at one time, or trying to fix, and that is a very successful, very busy person. The operations executive might be dealing with 10 ships, 15 ships, with which are under, maybe more. Even I've heard of chartering executives doing 20, or operations executives dealing with 20 ships in one go. But because the charter parties have already been set, the voyages are ongoing. So it is possible for an operations executive to deal with about 15 to 20 ships at one time. It's tough. It's not impossible, but it's tough. But it's quite common. Of course, depending on how busy the organization you are and how big it is. The claims executive could have 50 files open at one time, because the files, it takes about, on an average, maybe 9 months to 6 to 9 months to close a file. From the time that the vessel is fully fixed to the time the file is closed, the damage is paid, all the claims are paid. So it takes about 9 months. So during that 9 month period, the number of files keeps snowballing. So it's not unusual for a claims executive to have anywhere between 40 and 50 files open at one given time. For that reason, he needs to have an organized work ethic, a mental work ethic. He needs to have a very good system in which all the open files of his are he has a bird's eye view of them, and he's attending to every one of them. Claims executives can end up costing a lot of money to the charterers. To the owners most of the time, and also to the charterers at times. Again, we'll have to go deep into the charter party. There are a lot of clauses which have pitfalls, and which can cost money if the claims executive is not doing his work properly. And it's a very crucial function, because claims far outlive the duration of the voyage itself. Like I said, if the voyage, a long voyage, maybe a voyage on a tanker especially, could be anywhere between 15 and 60 days, depending on from where to where you're going. But like I told you, the claim would probably end up being settled maybe 9 months down the line. So it has a much longer life. A claims file has a much longer life cycle than either a chartering file or an ops file. So that's the last slide, right?
Correct, sir.
Okay. All right, gents. Thank you. I saw there was a question somebody raised. I don't mind answering that if there's a question.
All right.
Was there a question?
I don't think there was a question as such. I think it was more of comments which we
Okay.
had over.
Okay, fair enough. Then,
Right.
Gaurav, I'll take your leave, because I'm a little caught up today.
I understand, sir. I understand. No, thank you so much for the presentation. And uh, I think you gave a summary about what commercial shipping, who are the stakeholders, the key players. But I think what's to me most important is the personality which is required, the attributes which is required, because a lot of times people want to enter into commercial shipping, but it's important that they understand what it takes to be there, and what kind of attributes the companies are essentially evaluating professionals before they hire them. So thank you so much for the
All right. Okay. Thanks, Gaurav. Bye-bye.
bye, sir. Um, Let me take another poll at this time, and before I hand over to Krishnan sir. And here, a couple of questions on the same poll. Where are most, where are most of the commercial shipping activity happening in the world? So this is to all the audience. And the second question in the poll is, where is it increasing the most? So in which place there is the highest increase in the commercial shipping activities. And probably Krishnan sir will give his thoughts on on where it's happening then. Okay, I've got about 60% of you who have voted. Request a few more votes before I end the poll. The last 6 to 7 seconds remaining. Okay. All right, I'm ending the poll in the next couple of seconds. Ended the poll and sharing results. So to most of the audience, the maximum number of commercial shipping activities happening in Singapore, Southeast Asia, followed by Dubai, followed by Europe, Rotterdam. And where it's increasing the most is 49% feel India, Asia, followed by Hong Kong, Far East. All right, I'll stop sharing this and I'll request Krishnan sir to share his insights in terms of how he feels during his time in commercial shipping, how the trends have moved from a geography perspective, and how is essentially Asia, India looking at it. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Captain Gaurav. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thanks, Captain Ashok, for that, setting the context very clearly and properly. Thanks for that, as usual. So, good day, all of you. First of all, I should congratulate all of you on having taken this very important, but sometimes a very difficult step in terms of getting back into a classroom or a webinar to know more about what shore jobs has there to offer. Of course, those are at sea or have been at sea, and of course, I saw a good percentage who have not been seafarers, and that includes myself. I have not been a seafarer. Having said that, what I intend to do in the next couple of minutes is to take forward this particular poll aspect. But I want to reflect on a couple of things which Captain Ashok mentioned about the entire the space of commercial shipping. He did mention about sale and purchase and about scrapping, in terms of the entire the journey of the ship, the life of the ship. And of course, he mentioned about the important aspect or the major aspect, especially from a career point of view, from a job point of view, from a market entry point of view, about the freight or the revenue earning part of the ship. I would say that each one of you may have a different kind of a competence in terms of whether some may be interested in insurance, some may be interested in law, some may be interested in finance, for example. I'll give a very interesting example. So 2 weeks back, I was in a college. I do programs in colleges through the Transworld Academy. And they said they want to launch a course in ship finance. And I said, why directly ship finance? Because the first time I was hearing a college wanting to do a course in ship finance. And there were a couple of them who had researched on that. The faculty had researched, they'd done a quick check, and they do run a finance program in the college. And therefore, they thought that rather than doing a generic program, it would be a good fit for those who are really interested in finance. Yes, finance becomes their core, but then the industry domain becomes shipping. So what I mean to say is that all of you here in this room today may have different kind of a liking in terms of different subjects. Some of you have already maybe done courses related to those subjects, whether it is law, whether it is finance, or whether it is insurance. And therefore, I would say that commercial shipping broadly has a space for everybody. Right? It need not be chartering alone. Yes, chartering, whether you are, again, chartering, whether you're in a ship owner's house, in a broker's house, or in a charterer's house, is a good is a good career, right? So I've been in that space after being in operations for many years. So therefore, do not look at only as that particular aspect. Yes, that is a main entry point, but also look at all the different aspects which surrounds that, right? Right from the whether it is a new building of a ship, or whether it is a sale and purchase, or it is scrapping. Those are also huge market and huge scope in terms of the entire ambit of commercial shipping. One of the easy ways, since and I'm also heading the ICS globally as a chairman of the board, I'd like to mention, and again, Captain Gaurav being a member of the institute and also a recognized partner, the first one to be given that status in India for the ICS. And I would also like to mention that one of the easiest way to look at commercial shipping is look at the subjects and the syllabus of the ICS. Just go to the website. That would give you an idea, because ICS is all about commercial shipping, right? So the full form of Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, on the side we say that it's about commercial. The CNS also stands for commercial shipping. Anything about shore-based jobs, the ICS covers, and it is dynamic. So as we speak, we are also introducing a new syllabus on break bulk and project cargo, because that's again has become a specialized area, and therefore we are introducing a new subject there. So that's for you to get an idea. So at your leisure, go and see that. Now, coming to markets, again, you need to know these particular areas, all the areas, whether it is shipping finance, which is the biggest hub for shipping finance, insurance, which is the biggest hub for shipping, in terms of marine insurance, and then look at chartering. So I would say that, yes, from a context point of view today, or the focus point of view, may say that, yes, we are looking at commercial management of ships, how it has shifted, and even with respect to all the other areas, even how they are shifting now, or some of it has already shifted. So traditionally, even currently, you say that majority of markets for some of the segments are still centered or located or headquartered in London, right? Because that's where most of these markets started. But however, we have seen that over a period of time, and I've been in the industry for 40 years, and I've seen that how it has shifted, and how it has shifted drastically in the last about 20 years. I remember the first time when the Dubai Maritime City was set up, I would say exactly 20 years back. It was 2005, 2006 kind of time frame when it was set up, in terms of attracting all these global houses, and Clarksons was one of the first ones to come and register their office there. I was with Shell, and Clarksons was a broker, so I remember that entire story as to how they were one of the first movers who came in there. So fast forward now, we can see that how Dubai has become a big hub in terms of providing houses, not only for chartering, whether it is operations, shipping finance, insurance is picking up, and how it is, the entire thing has shifted. Of course, you've got the big markets in Singapore, shipping finance and ship management. If you see, Hong Kong has traditionally been the hub for that, But again, there has been changes in the recent past with respect to, especially post-COVID, how things have changed. I would say that based on what is happening today globally, this concept, you would see that these boundaries would fade pretty fast in the next 5 to 10 years. Right? So any place could be, with work from home increasing, your home office becoming, or while traveling, you work from anywhere kind of a place. Yes, you may have still centers because of regulatory requirements, of local requirements, which I would say would be more focused on aspects of finance and insurance. All the other things that these boundaries have already faded to a large extent, and it would continue to do so. This is very important for all of you to understand. Those who are, all of you are looking at an entry point into this world. So therefore, and for many of you, location would matter, right? Whether it is for personal reasons, for business reasons, etc., there would always be a choice in terms of where would your office be located, or would there be an office at all, right? So it's very important. Just like how shipping or logistics follows trade, we call it as a derived demand. It follows trade. Your job options, or your place of the job and the options available would also follow what is happening in the market, right? And again, do not take it as cast in stone, because a particular company may have an office today operating from Dubai, and in 6 months it could change. Of course, Dubai has gone through some changes in the last 3 months for different reasons, but these are the things you should be aware of, you should be cognizant of, because this is a highly dynamic industry, and the changes which are happening is much faster than what has happened, what I've seen in the last 40 years, right? So be aware of that. And as we go into this particular program, or even otherwise, you have any questions which come up, because I would also say it's better to ask that question. And I'm really glad that Captain Gaurav has been continuing this particular program, more from the point of ensuring that all of you have got access to information, right? So as Captain Ashok also mentioned, that confusion, I would say confusion is good. Confusion means you are thinking and you're torn between two choices. Do not hesitate to ask, right? Because there is very limited help which ChatGPT can give you with respect to the current kind of dynamism in the market. But to give you a little bit of specific, adding to that poll question, yes, there's a lot of shift which has happened on the east side. Again, I would say ICS as an example. You can see how the development has happened. ICS was earlier only for UK members, UK-based members. Then it became Commonwealth. Then branches were allowed to be opened in the mid 1990s. That's how most of the branches in India, Middle East, etc., was opened. And now you can see, in terms of, we have got now a Hong Kong China strategy developing there. We got an India strategy. We have got an Africa strategy. We got a Middle East, a US strategy. So from that itself, the 27 branches worldwide, you can see how the center of commercial shipping has shifted. The new areas which you should definitely be looking at is, one is, of course, Dubai, which is getting much more mature. It's already, as I mentioned, 20 years back it started. But also look at India in terms of the huge investment the government themselves are doing, right from shipbuilding to innovation to ship owning. The IFSC, the Gift City Center, which is set up in Gift City. As Transworld, we already have two companies there, one for ship owning and one for aircraft owning. So therefore, please also look at how India is shaping up. There are much more bigger opportunities which are coming up, which is already there, and there's a huge dearth of that talent for making this progress within India itself. I'll stop here, and of course, glad to take questions, or even if I'm not online because I need to go another 10 minutes. But however, at any point of time, Captain Gaurav, you can put the questions across to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that how the geography has shifted, and you're telling about how you were there when Clarkson set up their office in Dubai, and now how it's probably moving a lot towards Asia, and in today's day and age, I don't know how easy it is for all of us to, or any of us, to predict what will happen next, but hopefully let's see, it should be good for us for in India, and for Indians essentially. Right, sir. So thank you for that perspective, and let us hear from Captain Nishant now. And Captain Nishant will talk about how in India what our commercial operations are happening, and if at all that move which is coming in, how we can maybe leverage it. So over to Captain Nishant now.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. We all know that India is today the fastest growing large economy in the world, and our trade is really skyrocketing. Year on year, it is increasing. You may hear a lot of negativity about people, but India is definitely an really amazing place to be at the moment. Now, what has changed? I'll tell you, I stepped ashore way back in 2011. And at that time, we didn't have big ports. Very few ports could even take Panamax vessels. Okay. Today, the Indian government is saying we want Sagarmala, we want a port at every 100 miles. So that is a game changer in India. Could we go to the next slide, Captain Vineet, if you don't mind? So we've already done the trade flows are growing. Then we've got the Sagarmala project happening. We've got to push towards shipbuilding. What is this going to result in? There are going to be more and more cargo from India, which we call the cabotage cargo. It is non-custom cleared cargo. Cargo originating in India to be delivered in India. More and more of that is going to be moved by ships. From East Coast to West Coast, moving iron ore, coal, etc., all these commodities, more and more is going to happen, and they're going to be moved by ships. A lot more like a lot more containers that are moved between ports instead of them being sent over by trucks or train. They're going to start moving by sea. And all of this means more Indian flag vessels doing this job, a lot more of Indian professionals getting into the maritime sector. So this is where the Indian capital comes in. And also because India is now developing its human capital. Well, 10, 15 years ago, there was hardly anybody like who was really focusing on training for maritime professionals in India. Today, Sea and Beyond is definitely a visionary in this matter, but there are other players also who, other courses. Someone I saw in the comments mentioned the university in Dehradun, etc., etc. So there are a lot of things happening. India, the human capital is growing, and that is the biggest advantage that Indians have. We are very quick to adapt, we are very quick to learn, and we can work in almost any environment, right? Uh, Now, as the domestic shipping sector is growing, I saw Mr. Krishnan mention about finance and everything. Now, I have been my own journey. I've done operations, I've done chartering, I've done claims, sale and purchase of vessels. The only thing I've not really done is scrapping, a sale for scrapping or something like that. Other than that, I've kind of done everything. I'm learning more and more about ship financing these days because that's part of something I'm doing nowadays. But in India, there is so much more scope happening now for maritime professionals to pick up. And India is a hub for both people who come from sailing as well as non-sailing backgrounds. Now, coming back, how do we support the world or how do we support the trade in general? Indians are probably the most malleable and moldable people in the world. And I've worked with, a lot of nationalities across the world, both at sea and at shore. And I can tell you, I'm very proud of it that Indians are probably the most malleable, moldable, trainable community in the world. And we adapt to any kind of work environment. You take an Indian, you put him in Southeast Asia, he adapts. You take an Indian, you put him in Far East, he adapts. You take an Indian, put him in Dubai, he adapts. And I'll give you an example. You could have an Indian and a Pakistani sitting together in a Dubai office, and they will never have any friction at a level of professional working. Now, you put an Indian in Europe, and the Indians will adapt and they will grow like anything. So we Indians, because of our own education system, our cultural values, we really can learn and take this industry forward. So far, Indians have been contributing a lot more in, I would say, the technical part of our industry in the ship management segment. We all see how Indians are leaders in technical management and QHSE management and all. We had limited exposure to the commercial shipping industry. Now, commercial shipping industry has grown a lot in India. There are Indian companies that have come in and become leaders in commercial shipping. More and more Indian ship owners are there, and the global players, whether it's an Oldendorf or whether it's a Shell or whether it's a Norden or somebody, they're coming into offices in India. Even a small company like the small Swiss owner operator company called Swiss Atlantic, which has a chartering arm called Oceana Bulk that operates out of Pune. So there are so many examples where more and more people are basing operations out of India. Two reasons: Indians are good at what they do, Indians are hardworking, and B, we are very cost conscious people. So as was said by one of the earlier speakers that, when you're into chartering, you need to be really analytically minded and think about costs. That's something that comes naturally to most Indians. When it comes to operations, application of clauses, etc., that's something that comes very naturally to most Indians. So that is where we are really supporting the industry. And our biggest advantage, our ability to communicate. Most of us, English is a natural language for us, and we are very good at moderating and adapting to accents. So these are practical skills. Nobody highlights this, but these are genuine skills that Indians have, and that's where we are doing so well. And I'm ready to take questions if anybody's got anything now or later on in the program.
Right, Nishant. So you have covered your topic, I suppose, and then
Yeah,
we'll
Vineet,
keep the
just one more thing. I'd seen in one of the comments, someone was asking, can a chief engineer come into commercial shipping? Yes, you can. Um ICS chairman in Hong Kong is a gentleman called Jagmeet Makkar. Jagmeet ji was a former DMET chief engineer, and he was technical head of KC Maritime, where I was working earlier, many years ago. And then he moved from there into commercial in KC, and that's where his commercial journey has started. And today he's one of the, he's a very respected figure in the commercial shipping community. So I hope that answers some of the questions that people have.
Sir, you were talking about soft skills. What are the soft skills we should focus on in order to enhance to become a good at commercial shipping?
Well, I'll tell you something. Firstly, you in any role that you're doing in commercial shipping, chartering operations, claims, you need to have a real keen attention to detail. And you need to understand that anything that you're reading, and you're understanding what is its implication. You have to be a very avid reader, and you have to be somebody who's very collaborative in his approach to work. You cannot say, you cannot be an individual loner that I'm going to do things my way. If I've been a chartering guy, I've been an operations guy. Chartering can't survive operations without operations. Operations can't survive without chartering. Both can't survive without the people who handle the claims. And none of us can survive without the finance guys. So if you are not if you don't have an approach of being collaborative with people, you will struggle in this industry.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah, Ritvik, we'll take the question in the end. I think let's complete the session, and then we'll take the remaining questions, please. Over to you, Vinay.
yeah. So we just have a poll here, and in the meantime, I'll just invite Nilesh to speak about like what you have been saying, Ritvik, that what are the soft skills or other kind of skills required? What is the personality required for various roles? So Nilesh has been very closely associated with us. He has been part of the faculty in the course, as well as he has done various interviews for recruiting for various roles. So he'll be able to help you out and maybe share his insights. So Nilesh, over to you, please.
Thanks, Subbu.
Nilesh, you want to share the PPT or you'll be
Yeah. If you can, please. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll have challenges with my screen. Thank you. So, guys, till Captain Vinny shares the PPT, I think Gaurav has already introduced me. My name is Nilesh. I'm working with Scorpio for the last 10 years. And good news is I did not start my shore journey commercially. So, and I started my shore journey quite late commercial journey quite late into my shore job, almost after 8, 9 years. So any joining commercial at any given stage, I think I saw a master asking about that. So you can actually join commercial shipping at any given point of time. You need to have certain aptitudes and attitude towards it, which I think Captain Ashore, Mr. Krishnan, and Mr. Nishant has already spoken about it. I'm going to talk about what people find challenging. What are the challenges people face while they are coming into commercial shipping? And I'm going to speak from an employee's point of view. Like Captain Vineet said, been involved in some interviews, been a part of this course, I think a couple of courses till now. And also understood that what are the challenges which people face, including the challenges I faced when I joined. So you want me to take this poll ka answer, Vineet, or you will take?
I think it's obvious. I mean, for people who are not from the shipping background, they may have a certain challenge, but
Yeah.
you can just start with the PPT, please.
Okay. So commercial literacy is a challenge. I think this has been told since the beginning. Especially for seafarers, we think that we know commercial shipping, and anybody, Gaurav put it very nicely. Any seafarer you ask that what do you want to do when once you want to come ashore, I would make it 90% Gaurav instead of your 70. I think everybody wants to come to commercial shipping, and everybody wants to join chartering. There is only one aspiration people have is to join chartering. But the challenge here is, do you know about market dynamics? I mean, this is such a nice platform here today where actually market dynamics and voyage economics, not so much, but market dynamics have been discussed, which are not being discussed in depth in many of the places. I don't know how many of us have got TradeWinds ka subscription. Being seafarers, it's a very small cost to pay to get TradeWinds subscription, but we don't get that. So the thing is, this commercial literacy is a challenge, and the information is present in various places. What ICS has done, what CN Beyond has done, is actually brought all this knowledge at one place. So this commercial literacy challenge gets kind of sorted out once you undergo a formal course. So that is a good thing. That is something which you should look forward to once you are trying to come ashore. Vineet, next one. What is post-fixtures? Post-fixtures is basically operations and claims. Once fixture is when the vessel is fixed. Anything before that is pre-fixture, which is basically chartering does. After the vessel is fixed, all operations are called post-fixture operations, whether it is actually operations or the claims part of it. Again, this requires a lot of in-depth knowledge about the charter party. Charter party is nothing but a contract between two parties of carriage of cargo. And I think this has already been talked about, why it is important, because once we misinterpret a clause in a charter party, you can end losing a lot of money. If you do not inform people in time about arrival of a vessel, about the delays to the vessel, about anything which is happening during the operation. So communication, timely notices can be actually a deal breaker there. So post-fixtures basically becomes like a blind spot with respect to commercial shipping, and you need to have a bird's eye view. You need to be that person who can have that bird's eye view when you are into commercial operations, and especially post-fixture operations. So somebody asked, what are the attributes? I think collaboration is something that what Nishant said as well. But having that bird's eye view also is very, very important. You cannot be too focused, because you might be handling 5 ships, you might be handling 10 ships, you might be handling 15 ships, depending. And they all could be in different time zones as well. So you need to kind of create a method of your own where you will be on top of things. You need to prioritize. You need to have that knowledge of the charter party, how to apply it, and of course, have the situational awareness. Next one, Vinny. Technology, yes. As shipping, we are still far away. We lag in technology when you compare it to all the industries. We are lagging. Be it adopting any kind of technology, right? Somebody put a question about AI there. So I think as an owner, when I talk about our organization, we are still in a very nascent stage. AI is catching up, and the only challenge with adopting AI is how do you keep your data secure? That is the biggest challenge with the organizations right now, because you don't want your data to go out to an outsider, and that is why you cannot just adopt any AI. Most of the organizations are now having a technical kind of a CTO's position, which probably shipping organizations never had. But slowly, the shipping organizations are moving some towards having a whole technical team, which is not the IT team, which is an innovation team, a research team, which will look at all which is available in the market and how it can be kind of bespoke, adopted to your own needs. So technologically, we are still far away, but good thing is the technology will not take your skills. It will help you ease down the repetitive, mundane jobs which were being done in especially in the commercial side. There are a lot of repetitive jobs. Even writing a mail every day is a repetitive job. So sending chasers to your counterparties about claims not settled is a repetitive job. So these kind of jobs are where AI is probably coming in, and that work will be taken by AI. But commercial operations relies a lot on human intelligence and human adaptability for that matter. So those are the things which will still be there. But yes, people are adopting to AI to remove these repetitive, mundane jobs. So like all organizations, we are also doing it. And again, the challenge is how do we make our data secure? And that is what is keeping us a little slow, like any other organization. So these are the things which are, as an owner, as an employer, you look out for people who want to join you. Once you are sitting in front of an interview panel, of course, your knowledge is important, but your commercial acumen, operational knowledge, legal understanding is very important, guys, because you are half lawyers and half accountants at some point of time, because you are looking at money. Plus, you have to be very careful with the clauses. You have to read between the lines. So your financial awareness and legal understanding should be top notch. And of course, digital literacy is something which I don't have to talk about because the whole world is talking about it. The easily you can adapt to the new changes which are coming with respect to digitization and digitalization both. I think those are the aspects you need to look into. Yeah, that's it from my side, Gaurav, if there are any questions.
I think we'll take the questions a little later. Maybe Vineet will just talk about the course. So we have a couple of participants who will talk about it, and then we'll take the questions a little later.
Right. So you'll and just since we are talking so much about the course, we'll just share what we are doing about the course here. Yeah, I hope you are able to see my screen again. And so, as a broader objective, see and beyond, we have been working for maritime fraternity for last 10, 11 years almost. Gaurav has started see and beyond, basically to help people understand and decide, take a decision when they are planning to switch from sea jobs to shore jobs, and that is what we have been doing, developing various courses. I joined him for last 1 year back, and we trying to develop more courses. Commercial shipping has been one of the major courses, flagship courses, I can say, which we have worked upon very closely with say insights from say industry leaders like Mr. Krishnan, Nilesh, and other people who have been telling us that there is a gap between people who know shipping, but and they want to switch over to commercial shipping also, but there is a gap in understanding, and if we can plug that gap somehow, uh, it can bring the onboarding time when you're joining in a charter company or in a shipping company which is dealing in chartering and these roles. So there is a certain onboarding time which can be anything between 6 months to 12 months. And people from shipping background, if they can have slight advantage, slight background of what is expected out of them in these roles, then that onboarding time can be reduced drastically and they can start performing their duties in a much better way. So I'll just open up here. This is the fifth batch of this commercial shipping course that we are going to run. The course will be run from 13th of June till 2nd of August. So this is a 8-week course. Earlier, what we were doing is we had divided the course into applied and advanced. So there was an applied course which had around 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks of duration, and then there was an advanced course. But we have got again feedback from industry, from the recruiters, that there is always a gap when people are only doing the advanced course. They are not being part of the basic course. There are inhibitions from the candidates that if I am a master, maybe I don't need to do a applied course or a basic course. The basic course may be only for people who are not from the shipping background, or maybe who don't have that kind of exposure. But as we have listened to various speakers during the entire duration of this afternoon, we have to understand that I've been a master, Gaurav has been master, and there may be a lot of masters and senior officers present here. But the kind of messages, the kind of interaction that we have from the shore side, they are very limited. We don't have a broader picture understanding what's going on in say commercial world, when how much effort is going on when we are fixing a vessel, why somebody from the office is telling us to tender NOR, tender and retender NOR every morning at 8 o'clock. And you won't believe, I mean, I've been attending this courses here, and Nilesh is there. So he has been telling me, even despite telling every time to retender and tender NOR, there are number of instances where the NOR is not tendered at the right time, and there are delays, there are claims because of those. So we need to understand that operation on vessel, you may be very good at it. I'm not denying it. Some of us may also have a very good understanding of commercial part, but the commercial this kaleidoscope is not limited to charter parties, is not limited to laycan, lay times. It is also including about ship financing. It is also including about insurance of the vessel, insurance of the cargo, various stakeholders involved, how the cargo is moving. And we have been seeing, I mean, the entire world is now knowing about the Strait of Hormuz. I think somebody has also put in a question if we can address. It's a hot topic. Now everybody from a city to village knows there is something called Strait of Hormuz. We have been sailing in Strait of Hormuz for years without anybody knowing about it. But this is how we bring things to highlight, and they are on spotlight. And this is our effort to bridge that gap. You may have some knowledge. There is some knowledge which is required for you to transition into a commercial role. It can be a chartering executive role, it can be an operational role, it can be a claims role also. It will depend on what is the job required at a particular desk in a particular company. So we make an effort to bring in the practical knowledge direct from the people who are doing it day in, day out as a job in various roles. All the speakers who have been here today, they are part of the faculty and they have really helped us taking their time out, because these courses are happening on Saturdays and Sundays only. Because the tutors as well as the candidates mostly are working. So we keep it accordingly for Saturdays and Sundays. So you can join the classes 3 hours every weekend. So 3 hours on Saturdays, 3 hours on Sundays, and then the highlight of the session is this 2.5 day campus session that we are doing in offline mode, where you will get direct exposure to a real role-playing exercises, where, say, if you have a 10 candidate batch of the next batch, so some of you will be playing the role of, say, ship owners, some of you will be playing the role of charterers, some of you will be brokers, and the entire exercise will be there for the full day, where we'll be planning and trying to fix vessels. Now, as Captain Ashok has said earlier, that practically when these roles, they handle a certain number of vessels. It can be 5 vessels per person, it can be 10 vessels per person, depending on what kind of organization is there. But believe me, when we do this exercise, even fixing 1 or 2 vessels in that protected environment becomes a lot of headache for people, and they say, "ये मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा." So I don't think that any other program apart from this is giving you this practical exposure of role playing, understanding the nuances apart from the theory and the practical knowledge that we have been imparting for those next 8 weeks. This 2.5 day session will also culminate in you presenting your learnings throughout this tenure in front of the recruiters who will be coming from various chartering companies within India, maybe outside India also, and you can present your case for the recruitment. So this is the gist of the course. I'll again ask Smita to put this in the chat box for you to understand, and you can connect with us directly if you are interested in this course, or you want more information about the course apart from this webinar. I'll be happy to answer those questions anytime and during the next weeks or so. So now we come to the pricing of this course. Since this is an integrated course, we have done away with the 2 batches of applied and advanced course. So the price is also reduced this time. So instead of, say, 10 to 12 weeks, which was the original course, there was a lot of topics which were revisited from applied course to the advanced course. So we have modulated these topics and taken from the feedback from the recruiters, from the candidates. We have tried to focus on the areas which are very much required to enter the commercial shipping arena. And that is where we have averaged the course from 10 to 12 weeks down to 8 weeks. This is the fees for the course. It's 79999. And if you are applying for the course within, say, next 5 days, you will get a 5% discount, and we'll be more than happy to help you with the bookings and all. I think Gaurav, we can ask for the candidates who have done this course, and they can share their experiences also.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are a few questions in terms of the recognition of the course and how have the other previous participants benefited. And so we've got Hoshank, Deepak from the earlier course, and I think they'll speak about their experience. So Hoshank, if you're there, maybe if you would want to go first.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Hoshank. I'm working as senior vessel operator at Kargil. I did this course back in 2024 on the first batch I was there. So I did both applied and advanced course. So it was really helpful for me to get a job in Kargil. It was very helpful in terms of knowledge, I'll say, because you're learning from the persons who are actually working instead of the people who are teaching in ground. Because the people who are working in the industry, they give you the actual insights of how the things work on ground instead of people who are teaching. I know they are more respectable, but still the person who is on ground, they will give more insight of what is happening currently in the market. So the course was very helpful, and I end up that time when I was there, we went for Kargil during our applied commercial shipping course, and also when we went to GMU for the session, that time also Kargil was there. So I was lucky one to get role, and now I've got promoted as well after 1.5 years. So all kudos goes to Captain Nana somehow, because if you see, there are not much of commercial shipping course available in India, which really focus on the practical aspect of there are courses, I know I won't say they won't, but the ones who are focusing on the commercial side of shipping are very less. So kudos to Captain Nana, and course was really helpful. I would say if you want to gain some knowledge, this is the place. There will be a lot of practical exercises, I would say, and a lot of discussions. And generally, all sessions were open mic. And I would say you can ask your questions, you can clear your doubts then and there, and just be there, present over there, and that's it. That thing, the knowledge which is provided in the course is enough for you to get a job in the industry. So, thank you.
Once again, congratulations on the promotion, Hoshank, and it's good to see the way you're growing. And thanks for coming in here.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure. We also have Deepak here, I guess. And Deepak, if you could also share your experience.
Yeah. Hi, team. This is Deepak here. I also work in Kargil. Hoshank is my colleague, and I can't disagree with Hoshank. He has actually covered all the points. And thank you, Captain Gaurana, for giving the opportunity. For everyone, this is this is the bridge between your aspiration of you want to become into a commercial and do something. So this particular course is like a bridge who's going to link from your aspiration to the actuals, and the people who are going to come here and teach you are the industry leaders most of the times, who are there, and itself they are doing practically everything. So it covers most of the ground. It's just not the theoretical but the applied one. For me, basically, it was just my dream to come in, but how exactly and what all things are required, what skills are required to be in the commercial shipping and to grow. And actually, I would say this particular course has helped me a lot. And having said that, commercial shipping is always a learning. All the time you get the new cases, all the cases have a different solution, new solution. So you have to have this learning aspect all the times, and try to have the mindset of solving the problem. So that will help everyone a lot. So, and this particular course gives you the insight that how exactly it is done, and how the people still who are already experienced in this industry still does the same thing. It's like simple. So this commercial shipping, whoever wants to apply for, go for it. This is going to help you a lot.
Thanks for your thoughts, Deepak, and I understand you also got promoted. So
Thank you very much.
congratulations.
Thank you very much, Captain Gaurana. Thank you. Yes, indeed.
All right, great. So it's great to hear your perspective from both of you, Deepak and Hoshang. And what we would do now is we will take some questions which have been there on the chat window, and I may request, yeah.
Gaurav, can I just add something to what? Now, I have, taken a few classes in the previous course, And one thing that stood out to me, because I've done a lot of other online training programs also as a participant, as a trainer, it's never an open mic session anywhere. It's you can put your comments in the chat, somebody may answer, somebody may not answer. It's mostly one way that the trainer keeps on talking. But in this particular course, it was open mic. You can stop the trainer at any point in time, ask a question at any point in time during the session. And it's a very interactive session. So I'm sure people learn a lot better in the way these sessions are conducted. That's just my small input as someone who's participated in the sessions.
Thanks, Captain Nishant, and kudos to all of you who have kind of taken the sessions up. So thank you. Yes, Vineet, you were saying something?
Yeah, I think we have Sandeep also in the audience. He was the technical superintendent who has
Oh, yes.
attended our course. So, Sandeep, if you can just share your experiences here, because there are questions about if the course is suitable for chief engineers, and we'd like to hear from you.
Vineet Sandeep has logged out and he is not able to log in. He's
Okay.
trying. I'll let you know once he logins, please.
Okay. Anyway, so just to let you all know that Sandeep Gurde, he is the technical superintendent, and he himself said that he wanted to understand about the commercial aspects of vessel operations, and why we get so set in panic when we receive a message from charterers. That is the normal understanding, that from the people who are doing the ship operations, that the charterer's message has to be replied as soon as possible. So he wanted to understand why people get so panic, and his feedback was that he has a much better understanding that what are the stakes at when we are dealing with fixing the vessel, or post-fixture dealing with various parties. So this is not about only way to get a job. It is also a means to increase your awareness, understanding of, because you may have been working in the ship for say 20 years, but may have a different understanding of the intricacies involved here, and it can be a good learning experience also, especially with as Nishant has said that there is no binding class here, that you cannot ask questions or your questions will not be answered. It's a very interactive class where the practical experiences along with the knowledge will be shared by the speakers, and this is a journey for next 8 weeks, and at the end of it you will of course be much more appreciative of what is meaning of the commercial shipping, right?
Is Sandeep back? Um,
We can take questions, I suppose. Then
No, sir, he's not back yet.
Okay. So let me take a few questions. I have Captain Nishant, Captain Nilesh. I'll probably direct these questions to you, and I'll request you to, share your thoughts on them. So I think the first one, Rohan, could you take the classes from the vessel? You can. In case you miss, we also have recording of the sessions, which will be shared with all of you. But we've had few people who have taken the session while on the vessel. Okay, I think uh, one question from Nitesh is if yeah, he's a third officer and if he wants to enter into commercial, he's asking, is it okay if he gets into operations executive first and then goes for chartering? Is that a valid pathway for him? Captain Nishant, your views?
Definitely, or that is probably the most common pathway. All of us, I started off in post-fix operations and then moved into chartering. Because honestly, you really learn the impact of charter party clauses when you're doing post-fix operations. As a guy who's doing prefix or chartering, I could agree to any nonsense because executing the charter party is not my headache. It is only when at the end of the voyage, when people sit and analyze then somebody will say, oh, you fixed it badly. That's it. But by that time, I am done, dusted with my job. I'm focusing on the next thing. So definitely spend some time in operations and then, aim to move into chartering if that is what you like. Maybe you just love operations. So I know people who moved from operations into chartering and then they've come back into operations because they just like operations that much more.
Right. No. Thank you for your thoughts. The next question is about engineers getting into commercial shipping. I know, Captain Nishant, you addressed it, but let me take Captain Nilesh viewpoint on this. Captain Nilesh, how about engineers getting into commercial, and which which part do you feel may be better suited for them?
I think Gaurav Nishant has actually uh, we summed it up pretty well when he talked about the future. So I think anybody. So the question is, who can enter commercial shipping? Whether he needs to be a seafarer? No. So at least an engineer is a seafarer. So you are like one step ahead because you can you will be able to hit the ground running. You need your onboarding time kind of reduces. So we have electrical officers as operators in our organization. We have radio officers, ex-radio officers, of course, as operators in our organization. I'm pretty sure all the organizations would be such. So and you can come in anywhere. I mean, if you come as an operator, and if you have that acumen to read and to learn the contracts and the charter parties, it's just that the onboarding time gets a little easier if you're coming from the deck side because you are understanding, you have been through that. It might take a little more time for an engineer to do it. It might take a little more time for somebody who's not been on board. But ultimately, if you have that commercial acumen, you understand, you can read clauses, you can understand clauses. I don't think that's a challenge. So, and anywhere, in fact, for that matter. And what Nishant said, I mean, at an executive level, I think that's also right because you need to have some sort of apprenticeship everywhere, right? So that apprenticeship helps. So if you come as an executive and then you grow in the role, not a problem.
Sure, Nilesh. Thank you. And the next question is on the right age. Is there a right age to enter into commercial shipping? Maybe both of your thoughts on it, and maybe I'll ask Captain Nishant to go first. This is a question from Eugene Massey.
Okay, to be very honest, Gaurav, I got into commercial shipping in my late 30s. And I got after being almost like 3 years onshore. So my first 3 years were more into QHSC and some other things that I was doing. So there is no specific age. You need to have a very, very clear mindset that it's going to be an interesting journey, but it's a journey full of learning. You will need to learn, you'll need to collaborate with people. And at the back of your mind, just be very straight that even after almost like, 13, 14 years of being in commercial shipping, I still feel there is so much more to learn. The more I learn, the more I feel there's a lot more to learn. So if you have that attitude, commercial shipping is a great place to be.
So the attitude, irrespective of the age, is what you say.
I mean, I'll just give you an example. I had in KC, in my last company, I had hired a young 24-year-old guy from Hong Kong. He's a Hong Kong local Chinese fellow. He was doing, prior to joining KC, for 2 years, he was doing post-fix operations for VLCCs, and then he moved into doing post-fix operations for dry bulk. And within 2 months, he was doing a great job. He was in that role till the middle of last year, and then he moved into a chartering role in a new organization. And, we are regularly in touch, and he's doing very well over there. So, and age is no restriction. He's 26 years old now. So there's no restriction that you can't start at 22 or you need to start at 35. It's all in your mind.
Thank you, Captain Nilesh.
I think the question was if somebody was starting late into commercial shipping, is it? Was that the question?
No, I think Eugene is a third officer or a second officer. So, but that was his question, and but I'm sure this is a question which many people would have. What is the right age to get into commercial?
There's no right age and there is no right job. Like sometimes I have seen people waiting for a chartering job and they just keep on waiting. So you need to come in, you need to make your feet wet your feet in the system. And once you are in the system, like very good example, Nishant gave somebody who came from tankers, went into post-fixtures, bulk, and now into chartering. Had that person not done that, I don't think so he would have had that networking and connect and knowing people and moving around, So there's no age. Yes, I don't need to say that senior masters when coming ashore, you will definitely get a pay cut, and that is what you will get. So, but I think those challenges everybody is aware of. So till the time your focus is learning and you want to do something different, I think there's no age over there.
Sure. Thank you.
So,
yeah.
I actually had a question. I just finished my 12th and I did not get the cutoff for the IMU CET examination. So I was thinking of, transitioning into.
I will cut you here there, Kanishk. It's too early for you to think about commercial shipping. For you, you need to really first become a graduate. Or if you want to get into seafaring, then you'll have to do IMU CET. This may not be the right platform for you to ask that question. This is more specific into commercial shipping.
I just wanted to ask that if I do BSc Honors in Maritime Business from Solent to Wasatch University, would that be a viable option for me to get a pathway into the commercial shipping industry?
I think that's a well-renowned course, and that could be a fair pathway.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sure. Eugene, you had the earlier question and you have raised your hand. I'll let you speak, please.
Captain Gaurav, if I can interrupt on that question about an undergrad or an aspiring undergrad doing this course in commercial shipping, can I share something there?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I didn't get his name, but first of all, I would appreciate
Tanish.
that. Yeah, Tanish. Yeah, so you have shown an interest in this particular field at an early age. So I commend you for that. Talking from or adding something from an ICS perspective, ICS was also or traditionally, generally is there in terms of having, and even the qualifications required is that you should be working in commercial shipping for at least a year. However, in the recent past, I've seen college graduates clearing this exam and some of them even with distinction. And there's a couple of cases within India itself. One was from GMU. Of course, he had an internship in SCI when he was doing his MBA, and he cleared all the 6 papers and became a member by the time he graduated. Even undergrad students are doing this. So I would say that, yes, entering a job into commercial shipping, it may take some time for you, but having smaller steps in terms of learning about what commercial shipping is, there are many pathways. This course, yes, focuses more on the practical side. However, there are other options available where you could start doing the ICS Foundation Diploma, which just talks about 2 papers, which gives you a basic understanding about shipping, which will help you step into the right kind of further programs as you progress. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. I didn't realize you were still there. I thought you had logged off, but good to have you here. And I think that gives me an opportunity to ask another question from you, and this is from Abhi Grover. And he asked, what is the most effective way to prepare for ICS examination? Would you recommend enrolling for a tutorship? And what factors can be considered when selecting a subject for ICS qualification? I think right up your alley, sir.
Yeah, there are multiple questions there. I would say the first thing is market knowledge. And because ICS, I would strongly suggest please look at the syllabus, which is available on the ics.org.uk website. And the second is past exam papers. 3 exam season papers are available on the ICS UK website. So that will give you a perspective about what kind of questions are asked. And even there's an examiner's comment which is given with each of those paper. So you have 16 into 3, 16 papers into 3 exam season. You've got 48 of them available there. Choose any subject which you think that are the papers which you would like to do. So that would give you a good perspective about what is the syllabus, which is the foundation, and then the question papers. But to give you a jump start there, one is there's a lot of reading to be done. As I think even Captain Ashok mentioned about it, others mentioned about it, in terms of the general competence which is required in commercial shipping. And that's exactly what the ICS exam also tests you for. Right? So it's about application. It's not theoretical question. There are some of them which may be purely theoretical or appear to be theoretical, but most of the questions expect you to have an application or an applied knowledge answer, right? So from the preparation point of view, there are various ways, right? From ICS UK has got their own tutorship. There is an online academy, recognized partners and international teaching centers like C and Beyond. They are running their own programs which supports the branch activities and the student support. That definitely helps because it gives a focus, because most of the ICS students, 99% of them are working professionals. So therefore, to have a focus once you enroll for the exam, enrolling for a tutorship, which will take you through the step-by-step approach, also in a disciplined manner, it really helps. The books are available for purchase. Again, C and Beyond has got it as a library which comes from London. So that's another option. Even if you want to do self-study, the books definitely help. It doesn't have the entire works there about what happens in the syllabus or question paper, but the books are also a good medium in terms of having a self-study. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
Thank you. Sir, Abhi this side. Sir, just to add, is there any webinar or the interactive session that ICS conduct for the student that are sitting for the examinations?
Absolutely, yes. And I think once you're in the database, Captain Gaurav himself does that on behalf of the Mumbai branch. So I think you should be getting notifications for that. The next exam season is in November. The registrations of which would start in August.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll quickly go through the questions. Rohan, I guess your question has been answered in terms of tech officers aspiring to move into commercial shipping. Captain Jasraj, I'm assuming your question has been answered in terms of closed loop internal appointments. Through our course, we've got a couple of master mariners at least placed. One of them has been in Scorpio under Captain Nilesh. Yeah, Eugene, sorry, you had raised your hand earlier. You may speak now, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Thanks
And it's okay, sir. It's okay because Krishnan sir was explaining something, so I didn't want to interrupt. Sir, I'm a senior second mate sailing on LNGs right now, and I want to switch to commercial shipping. I got a very good glance over the whole idea of commercial shipping right now today. My whole question was that do you really need management level experience, because there's some kind of skills and experience which you get over a period of time when sailing as a master, right? I'm a senior second mate only right now. So is this course help me to transit smoothly to a shore job? Because I don't want to start again once I reach an age of 40 around, and then I think of doing a course and then switching off from sailing. I think that's going to be too late for me. So that's why I want to ask this question.
Okay. Captain Nilesh?
I'm wondering why somebody wants to leave LNG.
Of course.
Yeah. But Eugene, no problem. You can see the challenge is at what level are you going to join? So if you're a second mate, there are companies who might or might not look at you as a full-fledged operator or a voyage manager. and they might take you at a level down. And like I said, it may or may not happen. So once you become a little senior officer, your chances of coming at a higher rank increase. Not to say that at a second mate level you will not get ranked, but depending on what company you join, the rank which you will get while coming in will vary. So you need to be open towards that, because if you leave early, you will grow. I mean, if you join early, you will definitely grow here as well. So that is a call which you will need to take, Eugene, while you are leaving.
Thank you so much, Captain Nilesh, for your reply. Thank you so much.
And Eugene, I can tell you in our course, I think typically from the employers, there is more demand for people at a junior level than at a senior level. So the industry is looking for people at a second officer, third engineer level, chief officer, second engineer level as well to come and join them.
Thank you so much. We'll look forward to it in the course.
Sure. There's a question from Shri Om Ojha, and I think that's a good question, especially for people in the commercial shipping. And if I may ask Captain Nishant to take this, Shri Om wants to know your point of view on the work-life balance and working as a freelancer or as a charterer shipbroker. So it's point of view on a work-life balance.
Work-life balance. Shyam, I'll be very honest that I have never struggled with work-life balance. But I will say one thing definitely, that if you're in commercial shipping, there is no such thing that it's 5 o'clock and I'm locking down my computer, or it's a Friday evening, 5 o'clock, and then I'm not going to open my computer till Monday morning, 8, 9, whatever. That doesn't happen. You are constantly monitoring mails and messages, because ships run 24/7. The commercial team is on their feet 24/7. So yeah, that is definitely there, especially if you're into the operations part of it, or post-fix operations, however you want to say. But then I've not really ever struggled with work-life balance, in the sense that I've enjoyed my role so much that it's I just kind of really liked the whole challenge. Okay, that's just me. Somebody would say, yeah, if I need my 8 hours of beauty sleep without being disturbed. No, there will be nights when you will get disturbed, and then there'll be days when nothing is happening. I mean, I've actually had one of my mentors one day come, and we were joking, and he actually had some challenges in the office. His BP was like really low. So we were joking, in the last 4 5 days we've had no situations on any of the ships. So boss is kind of panicking now that maybe we guys have missed out on things or whatever. It is, BP is going low. So that's just the way things are. It's a 24/7 industry. It's a 24/7 role. So as long as you accept that, yeah, you will really not face any work-life balance challenges.
Thanks, Captain Nishant. But Ritvik, who's raised his hand, Ritvik, speak.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening to everyone as well. Sir, my question was pertaining to Captain Krishnan's. Like he did say that the geography is opening up for India now. In terms of the geography, in fact, I was planning to transition ashore, and I'm technically looking to stay very close to my hometown. I stay in Bhubaneswar, so uh, I just wanted to ask what sort of scope does the eastern coast of India hold, and if someone wants to have that sort of that flexibility of working from home, as well as a center, the head office being very close to your hometown, actually.
Krishnan sir, would you like to take a stab at it?
Yeah. I would say the initial phase, you have to be flexible, right? So the moment irrespective of which job it is, right? The initial phases of entering a career ashore, or into the commercial world, the moment you start putting filters or restrictions in terms of location, there could be a challenge in terms of you may be losing out on a wider pool. Because I can't specifically say about East Coast. So I was in Kolkata 3 days back and saw the kind of the upbeat, the activities which are picking up there. There is definitely a huge momentum which will build up there in the coming months and the coming years, I would say, in terms of development on the shipping side, including shipbuilding. But current markets within India, I would say most of them are focused in Mumbai and Delhi. And therefore, if you're looking at India as an option, you should be open to taking up jobs there to start with. And of course, once you're in there, you'll start looking at options, progress, as well as different companies who are there in different parts of the country and would be able to do something which you want to do. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, sir. Thank you for your reply.
Right. Pirna Mittal had a question on AI and basically how was technology addressing the gaps in commercial shipping, and especially Nilesh, you have talked about the AI and the skill set gap in your presentation. Would you want to take a quick? Would you want to address this question, please?
I read that question. It's a huge question. I mean, it's a very big one. So I think the biggest challenge, what I told was, are all the repetitive tasks. I mean, and not only commercial shipping. I mean, the whole company as such, they have a lot of repetitive tasks which the organizations are trying to automate them so that the human capital can focus on the more intelligent tasks. I mean, like a small thing like sending a mail, chasers being sent to different entity. There are 1,000 chasers, 1,000 mails just chasing for claims within a month, which need to go as per SOPs. And right now the analysts are sending them. So trying to automate that reading of charter parties. I mean, everywhere, pulling out. Like making a repository of intelligent data which can be used to reply to a counterparty at a later date. So you have replied to somebody, made a case, fought a case with a counterparty, and that goes into a repository. Now you need it a year later. So now how do you get that out, and how do you make all the learning which have gone there? So data mining, those kind of things are something which industry is looking at.
Sure.
Can I just add something to this?
Yes,
See, I'll share this one incident that's happened with me. I was looking at, I was proposing the strategic sale of one of the company's vessels when I was in KC. And to calculate, how much the company had spent on its purchase, how much revenue we'd generated over the years, what had been all the expenses, and if we sell the ship at a particular price, overall, how much money is the company making? It had taken us almost 4 days to gather all the data, pull out. The data was all over. It was in Excel sheets, it was in some redundant database, it was somewhere. It took us 4. So automation and integration will help cut out these kind of tasks. If there was good database accessing systems available over there, I could have done this task in probably 30 minutes and given my report to the CEO. But it took us 4 days just to collect all the data, feed it into another Excel sheet, which then we crunched the numbers and gave, okay, this is what ultimately we are looking at. So that is the kind of challenges we face. In terms of commercial shipping, there's one very big concern when it comes to using of technology. Nilesh had pointed out was one, data privacy. Point number 2, there is a legal concept of privilege. So my charter party, my broker is not supposed to reveal it to anybody. And if they reveal the charter party to the external parties, they are they're violating laws. Similarly, for me, I am very reluctant to put up a charter party on a electronic open platform because or my communication on electronic open platform, because a lot of it, there is a legal privilege concept that applies to it. So those are the aspects that will need to be sorted out when we adopt technologies over here.
I'm absolutely. I think technology will help all of us, and it depends on how do we want to leverage it and in which all aspects. Uh, but yeah, I think especially to the mariners who's sailing and if they want to transition ashore, I think besides any other technical expertise that you want to gain, I think technology, irrespective of the field you would want to go, you should kind of upskill yourself in technology. Abhi, I was coming to your question only, which was on the chat window, but since you've raised your hand, you may please ask your question.
Hello, sir. I'm sailing as second officer on LPG tankers, and now I have made up my mind to transition ashore, and I am tend to give my ICS exam in November 2026. So, first question was about the tutorship, and the second thing is if I can get the study material like from the sea and beyond or anywhere, like I can right away start my preparations. So, will that be possible? Before registration, like it is in
Sure,
August.
sure. Abhi, why not? I think just write to us on education@cnbeyond.com. You can get the study material, and you also have options on various levels of tutorship which are available. So I think you should have that information available from Smita or Disha or any of our counselors as well.
And second question, sir, about I need some mentorship about selection of my subjects. Like I'm really confused between two, three. So if anybody can guide me over the selection, like will this be possible?
Absolutely, Abhi, but I think that has to be a more one-to-one call with you because this is your problem, may not be everyone's problem. So surely one of our counselors could support you in selecting a subject as well.
Okay, thank you, sir. And this course, what would you suggest? Like, if I should go it like hand in hand with ICS preparation of ICS exam, or after the exam should I enroll for this course?
Look, whatever you're going to learn in this exam will help you in passing the ICS examination. So you may not need to take a separate tutorship if you take this course. It will help you to pass the exams, and it will also help you to make up your mind which subjects would you want to take, because at the end of the day, you need to understand what kind of subjects are you liking, what are kind of subjects are you enjoying. So in the course, we're going to talk about dry cargo, tanker, and tanker chartering. We're going to talk about sale and purchase. Going to talk about freight forwarding. So a lot of subjects will be covered, and maybe this will give you a little bit of understanding of what all these subjects are about, and then which one you like, you can then pursue that one.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your guidance.
Sure.
Excuse me, sir. Am I audible?
Shriram, let me come to you. Give me a couple of minutes. There have been few people whose questions have been there for a half an hour. Let me take their question and I'll come back to you. Give me another 2-3 minutes, please.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Asim is there. He's asking any online sites or which he could refer to get information on commercial shipping. So I know Nilesh, you had talked about TradeWinds, but Krishnan sir, do you have any suggestions in terms of where any one of us could enroll to get more information?
Sorry, Captain, can you just repeat that?
Asim is asking of any relevant online portals where a person could subscribe or refer to get some information about commercial shipping.
I don't think there's a single portal. I mean, as you mentioned, commercial shipping is a very broad canvas which is there, um, it will be fragmented. But as I said, one step could be look at the ICS syllabus. There are 16 subjects there. 4 of them are common ones, and 12 of them are specialized. So that gives the complete canvas of what commercial shipping, which includes port and terminals, it includes offshore shipping, it includes ship agency, ship ops and management, other apart from the core subjects of chartering, whether it is dry cargo or tanker chartering. I think that could be a starting point. However, information in detail about each and every aspect, I don't think there's a single site which can give that. Probably that's why you designed this course exactly to provide that kind of an information.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you. And essentially, I think we'll have to Asim, look for, what is it that what is the information that you would want to look at? Is it dry? Is it wet? Is it maybe generic? So there are different sites for it. And once you get into the course, you will of course know not only where the information is available, but more importantly, how do you read that information? How do you get insights from that information? I will move quickly. We've already been 2 hours in the course, in the masterclass. Devendra Pandey, I guess your question has been answered about a chief engineer getting into commercial shipping. Captain Jasraj, I'm again assuming your question has been answered about master entailing into a ICS. Manju, you've messaged me separately, and maybe we will take your question one-to-one, but I think your question on ROI has probably been answered by Hoshank and Deepak. Brian, how does ICS course and exams help? What is the structure to get jobs in commercial shipping? Brian, about ICS course, there is enough and more information available on our website. You can get information about ICS course over there, or of course on the ICS website as well. And what happens when you do any of these courses is that it gives you knowledge, B, it gives you network, and C, when your CV goes to a company, it shows you that you have done some kind of upskilling. It shows that you are ready to invest in yourself, and that's the reason why companies would want to interview you, right? How you perform in the interview will decide whether you get placed. But let me tell you, maybe only 10% people get interviewed, and maybe less. But courses or upskilling helps you to get shortlisted essentially, right? Is ICS all right? Nitesh, again,
Captain
I think.
Gaurav, if I can add for both those questions for the
And Nitesh,
CNB on
sure.
course or the ICS one. I mean, I
Sure,
would say that at the end of the day, it is like any program which we do, any certificate which we do, any course, any degree program which we do, is only an entry point, right? In terms of providing a basic framework. Even with the ICS, just passing the exam and getting that certificate of MICS does not guarantee you a job or a promotion, unless there are certain companies who have made that as a criteria, right? So unless that is there, it doesn't guarantee you. It all depends upon, as Captain Gaurav rightly mentioned, his personal journey itself is a classic case study where he passed the exam but became a member only after 10 years. And then he has seen the benefit of being part of that network, right? So even this particular course, I would say that I've been teaching all the batches, couple of the modules. Unless as an individual, you start applying it, you enhance that, again, be part of the network, do your own research in terms of what kind of role best suits you, which location, what kind of companies. That's something which each individual has to take up and run with it. So all these, I would say, are a good platform for a jumpstart in terms of it gives you the overview, it gets you connected with people from the industry, and therefore it gives a very good head start to run. I would say that in terms of ensuring that you get all the basic information And with the additional efforts which you put in, you would land up in the place where you want to be.
Very well said, Krishnan sir. Thank you. I think it's essentially what do you want to do? I think that's what you want to understand, and course is probably a way of taking you to a particular journey. It shows you have skin in the game, and it shows that you have learned something. Shriom, you may please you have a question. You may please speak up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. Sir, I would like to continue on the same question that Captain Nishant answered regarding the work-life balance. So, sir, basically, I wanted to ask regarding that. Uh, I do understand that it requires consistent learning and all. But, sir, I just wanted to know a bit more regarding like uh, a workspace, like sitting in any part of the world or like traveling and working with a laptop, being a charter shipbroker. So I'm visualizing that type of workspace rather than going to an office or working for an organization. So being a freelancer and making connections and uh, working as a shipbroker or a charterer. So I'm thinking of that perspective. So since you have been working with companies also, and you have studied a lot about these careers, so what is your point of view being a freelancer and working into this kind of nature?
Okay. Question is to Captain Nishant, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Priyam, I just want to understand, when you say a freelancer, what exactly do you mean by a freelancer?
Sir, basically, what right now I can understand from being a charter or shipbroker is you meet different persons abroad and fix a particular vessel, and you keep on growing like that, only making networks. After you get a degree, like let's say right now I'll be giving in November, I'll be giving my ICS first papers. So that's what I'm assuming right now. That currently I'm working in LNG ships as a third officer with around 20 months experience. So I wanted to shift ashore, visualizing that someday I'll be a shipbroker or a charter, and I'll build a network and work with different people around fixing something, fixing a ship or selling or purchase of a ship by making networks rather than working for a particular company and sitting in their office. So this is what I was visualizing till now. So
See,
regarding, yeah,
Shriram, look at the end, I'll be very blunt over here. Let's
yes,
say you come to me and say, I'm a chartering broker in LNG ships and I'm an LNG ship owner. What gives me, why would I select you over a broker who comes in from a reputed brokerage house like Arrow or Clarksons or something? They when they come in with this thing that I'm working for Arrow Shipbroking or Clarksons or whatever, I know that at least they are a part of an organization where there is there's a system there's a system in place for these people. To start off with, you can't be doing freelancing. After a certain number of years, after you built your personal brand, you could venture into being a freelancer or setting up your own venture, or your own consultancy or whatever. But at an initial stage, unless you have a radical business idea and you want to take it up as a startup, like what Captain Gaurav Rana did with Sea and Beyond, it was a radical idea and he pursued it instead of doing working for an organization. But if you want to come into being that, I'm a one-man brokerage, sure, no, you'll need to sit somewhere in some company, learn systems, develop a network, and then venture into starting up your own chartering shop, brokering shop, whatever you want to do.
Okay, sir. So this was the clarification I actually wanted, because on LinkedIn or somewhere we see like people writing in their designation as shipbroker or something. So we also like feel okay, maybe because they somewhere they are mentioning their company with which they are working, but somewhere they are not mentioning that. So I was feeling like, okay, so this is some kind of being a freelancer and enjoying the perks of life as well as enjoying their career in their like sitting at home or with the laptop or traveling abroad, and with the laptop they're able to manage all these things. So I was visualizing that kind of environment as well. But since I got the clarification that initially, at least for around 5 to 10 years, I'll have to grind with a firm, and then maybe in future, if I get good experience and good knowledge regarding the field, then I can be on my own, and after making a good network, I can start my own self. Understood on
So
this?
when you start your own venture, Shriram, let me be very candid, then you are not grinding 8 hours a day. Then you are grinding 18 hours a day for the next 10 to 15 years.
Correct, sir. Correct. I totally understand this, sir.
See, Captain Gaurav is having a nice laugh on this because he
I
knows
was
exactly what I'm
also
talking about.
laughing. Is absolutely right. In terms of I did that for more than 5 years as a freelancer, and I could say that it was more towards work and less of life and the lighter side.
Definitely, sir. But even right now also, I keep on, like, right now I have come home, and I love to learn new things and pursue career, and I try to read a lot about it. So that's why I was thinking of this environment in which I can enjoy my personal space as well, and anytime in my full day, if I want to work for around, let's say, 6 hours continuously, I can work, and then I can take some rest. So I was visualizing that kind of environment. But again, I got a good knowledge about all these things with you guys. Thanks a lot.
I'll be very blunt, Shriram. You know, I have in my 30 plus years of career met a lot of professionals from a lot of different fields. And the only people I've seen, casually sitting somewhere under a tree on a laptop or on a beach under an umbrella with a laptop, enjoying working from a remote destination, is in advertisements. In real life, whether it is, I have known people who are doing startups and they get out of their house and they're going to a co-working space which is half a kilometer down because they want to be with other professionals working over there. Okay, so this, even if you're an individual one-man army, you will still be going somewhere and working. And you'll be doing it on a regular day in, day out basis. So the grind is definitely there.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Understood on this.
Yeah.
Sir, one last question to Captain Subramaniam. I am enrolling for this November 2026 ICS examination from the Madras, this thing, ICS. So, sir, I have already fixed 6 papers, which I'll be enrolling for. But one paper I am still not sure about. So, could you please have, like, 4 papers are compulsory. One will be one extra will be tanker chartering that I'll be doing. Then one will be ship operations. The seventh one I'm still not sure. So could you please help
Shivam,
me?
I think it's a public forum. I wouldn't want to. I mean, you can have your specific questions, but let's take it one on one because otherwise, if we start answering everyone's personal questions, it might take very long for everyone to. But
Okay.
we can connect you. Send us an email. We'll connect you to Krishnan sir. We will send that email to Krishnan sir, and then we can take his views, please.
Sure, sir. Thanks a lot for giving me this much time. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. I will quickly wrap this up. I have Anubhav's question is, if he joins ship in between the course, can he complete? You can absolutely complete Anubhav. And if you happen to miss the 2.5 day session where the recruiters come, we will accommodate you in the next batch. You or anyone else who would have missed the last part of the course, because that's probably one of the most important part of the courses as well. Nitesh, Jitin, Jitin, I'm sure you would have heard that the job scenario has improved, or I think India is probably one of the highest. Is one of the places where the growth for jobs in shipping is the highest. So I think that's improving, and most marine professionals are in demand. Brian, the certification of the course from it will be ICS recognized. So we are a ICS recognized partner. So you would have a ICS RP stamp on the certificate, which we would be giving as well. Devendra Narottam Morarji course. I think it's a very good course. It's just that it is for a little bit junior guys. That's if you see the kind of people that are there on the course, they're generally a little junior. Captain Jasraj on the vacancies in commercial shipping. If you go on our website, just search filter commercial, you will get a lot of vacancies over there. Manish Mani will doing masters from Southampton College be better? Manish, it's a very good question. This is not the right forum. We'll need to understand why do you want to do a course? What is your ultimate aim after doing the course? And then we can suggest the course for you. So it's a one-on-one session is probably better for you. Just to let you know, WMU is more of a government body, so more into administrative jobs are more available over there rather than more on the corporate side. Um, um, uh, Padmasan. Okay, I think again it's about you knowing the subjects for pursuing ICS. Let's have a one-to-one connect, please. Akshay, yes, the recording will be available. Vineet has already mentioned we will share the link if you are registered. The starting salary, Nitesh, should be about 10 to 12 lakhs. But and if you're going to the post-fix, in prefix, probably about 40 to 50,000 or about 5 to 6 lakhs a year. But I mean, don't look at the starting salary, look at the upside over here. The upside is really, really huge in commercial shipping. All right, I think we've answered a lot of your questions, and we've also taken a poll on how did you like the webinar. We've got Jatin who's raised his hand. Jatin, you may please take your question.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I just want to know that maybe you answered this question and I missed it, but like what percentage of people who are taking this course like called for an interview?
Look, whosoever comes for the session, the last 2.5 days, all the people essentially goes through an interview process because there are at least 5 companies which we guarantee who would be there in the last day to listen to your presentation, right? And they will ask you questions. So there will be from 5 companies, say about 7 to 8 people who would be there. Out of then what these companies do is basis whenever the vacancy comes, they will call you through us or maybe directly for an interview. And once that interview happens and how you perform in the interview, then the company select. So that's essentially how the process goes in terms of the job scenario.
So there is no like direct hiring from that 2.5 days. They will call whenever the vacancy is available, right?
That's right. So do not expect that on the last day you will have a job offer in hand. No, that will not happen because every company has a process, right? The interview doesn't have only be taken by one person. There are about 2, 3, 4 persons, and there are about 2, 3 different levels. What happens is that the person jots down the name of the relevant people over there, and then they kind of call them maybe in a week time or maybe in a couple of months time whenever a vacancy happens.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Understood.
Okay. Sure. Priyesh, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, good morning, folks. Actually, I'm a third officer sailing on board tankers right now, and I'm currently sailing in USA, and I just managed to connect to this course. Actually, I had a connectivity issue, and I missed a major part of this webinar. And I just wanted to know that the course which you guys are going to offer. Will there be any further batch like in October or November? Because I fear I might be still on board and I could not be able to attend this course in commercial shipping.
There are 2 batches which we do for this course in a year. typically one would be in June and the other would most probably be either starting in November or in January. The dates are still not finalized.
Okay, sir. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I would look forward to attend this course.
All right, all right. Okay, go ahead, Manish.
Sir, apart from this current topic, I want to ask one thing about the maritime law. This maritime law will be can we seafarers also do this maritime law, like master's degree in maritime law? Like I have previously heard about that only LLB part of the who have done LLB and done some experience in the ground, they can do the LLM and like Southampton College is offering and all.
Okay.
So
So it depends what do you want to do, right? If you want to practice law, then LLB is required in India. Outside India, LLB is not required. But in India, if you want to practice law, LLB is required. If not, then if you want to work in a professional organization, then maybe you can directly do an LLM if you have a master's license. Many universities, not many, a couple are there in UK who will take you directly, and then you can do the LLM and then work in various roles as well. But you will not be able to practice law in India if you do not have a LLB.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Jatin, what is the last date of applying? I think about we start on 13th, so about 10th or 11th is probably the last day. However, you get discounts if you apply in the next few days. Wow, I think it's about 2.5 hours. I'm sure a lot of you, the experts here are exhausted. But thank you so much, Krishnan sir, Nishant, Captain Nishant, for staying throughout. I know Captain Nilesh left in between. A lot of other participants left, but thank you for being there and answering so many questions so very patiently. And this is an honest effort from us to help the bridge the gap which the industry and the candidates have. And so first of all, thank you for being around, and to all the participants, thank you for taking out time, and we look forward to interacting with you in the next few days.
Thanks, Gaurav.
Thanks, Captain.
Thank you so much.
All the
Keep
best to
seeing me
everybody.
on.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Captain Nishant, for your kind words. Thank you.